What is up, NPBF fans and coaches alike? My name is Jeff, and I am the coach of the Rage Fist Annihilates and the head commissioner of the NPBF, here to present you with our Season 20, Week 1 review, recap. It's time for the recaps again. We're back. We're doing it. It's time. It's hype. And I am not alone. I am joined once again by my most prevalent co-host, my fellow commissioner, Alex, the coach of the Greenwich Giratinas. What's up, Alex?
I'm back, bitches.
Damn right. Damn right. And we're going to quickly speed through the intro for this game, because this is you're going to see very soon why we're doing so. But there's some solid games already popping off this season. We're trying to get this one out of the way ASAP.
Solid is a nice way to describe this game.
We are starting off with Liam returning this season and his My Hero Melodics, with the Umbreon, Hippowdon, Skarmory, Chansey, Ditto, and Blaziken taking on Stu and his NZ Nibbles, with the Kyurem, Pecharunt, Mandibuzz, Metagross, Alomomola, and the Iron Valiant. Now, just for heads up, things are going to be happening very quickly right now. I have set the speed for this game to hyper fast. There's a reason for it. You will find out right now.
I just want to mention, I watched the ratings. I know you guys gave Liam a decent score. He should have gotten an F just for drafting this bullshit.
I mean, yeah, that's very
like,
fair.
don't encourage him. And we can already see 9 turns in that Stu did the smart thing and took one look at this team and decided the only way to combat Stall is to bring Stall. Except Stu has more offense on this team than Liam does.
Yeah, this is this team is definitely something. He definitely said, this is the playstyle that works for me, and I'm gonna just go hard on it. And boy, did
I'm
he
calling
do
it now. We're gonna have to change some rules because of Liam, especially if this, not if, when this isn't the only game to go over 100 turns that he's involved with, and potentially not the only game that takes nearly 2 hours to play.
Yeah, I thought I missed it. I came in, I was like, oh, it's been about an hour. I just saw the live link. I was like, oh, hey, did you guys get the replay? And, oh, they're still going. I was like, excuse me? And I came and joined the game. I think I joined it around, like, turn, probably somewhere in the 80s, I think. 70s, 80s.
I joined in the hundreds.
And I threw that on the side, and I was just like, that's fine.
And
yeah, no, we got to turn 40.
Just saw Liam's only offensive mon go down.
Yeah. At turn, like, 44 or 45.
Oh, and, my God.
That's, that just tells you right there what we have in store.
Yeah, this is such a problem. Being able to set up a sub in front of Umbreon who just, like, can't break it. And, like, Ditto does nothing here because Kyurem is just... It's just a stall Kyurem.
Yeah, it's designed to say no to anything you want to do.
It's just a PP stall Kyurem. Like...
I did see, I believe there was a Shadow Ball shown by the Chansey there. It was a good bring to cover for the Pecharunt. That was smart.
Yeah, I mean, in instances like that, I prefer Blissey.
Of course, absolutely.
Just because Blissey has the usable special attack stat.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my God, I didn't know he brought Iron Defense. Skarmory. Jesus Christ. Liam...
I love how Liam on turn 74 in the chat, these are his exact words. This game's gonna last forever, LOL. What did I draft? Dude, you knew what
Liam
you did.
Exactly what you did.
You knew what you were doing when you picked this team. You knew exactly what you did. I don't want to hear any of that. You did this to yourself and all of us.
Let's not forget, Liam, that your title win came from having the Gen 6 Stall Core in Chansey Mega Sableye.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, that's gross.
That's the only reason you got your title. I know you say it's not, but I maintain it is.
Stall is fun. Stall is
and just
interactive, fun gameplay.
every season, Liam has been progressively leaning more and more into his stallish tendencies until we finally got to this point.
He's officially just said, I don't want anyone to be happy when they play me. I want everyone to suffer. I want everyone to have a bad time. And we see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what I would do if I was playing against Liam, because I hate any game, not just Pokemon. You put me against anything like this, and it's going to take me everything I can not to reach across the table and punch them in the face.
I mean, it's fair. It's very fair. Because, like, this is just gross. We're at turn 120, and we finally have had the second KO of the game.
Jesus Christ.
That is absurd.
And they'd probably been playing for like an hour at this point.
At least.
I mean, I know... I can't remember for Liam, but I know for a fact that Stu takes a long fucking time to make his move.
Hopefully this was not one of those cases.
Oh, it definitely was.
At least...
I've seen games with Stu that were a normal amount of turns that took like an hour. And also the same for Liam. I think I have a 30 turn match or a sub 30 turn game with Liam that took nearly an hour to play.
Yikes.
And that he did not have stall. It was just dumb.
This game is just, this game is something.
I can't even say anything about this.
I mean, it's
Liam's just getting worn down and 6-0'd.
Yeah, it's a install v stall. There's really not much to say about it. It's
With stall v stall, that with nothing though.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what stall looks like, man. It is what it is.
Who at least has Pecharunt
that's where I joined in.
Metagross and Kyurem and Iron Valiant here.
I joined at turn 153.
I think I joined in the 170s.
And I did tell them, hey, this is going on hyperspeed in the recap. Here we are.
Like, I mean, this would be one of the few times where, like, our forfeit rule would not be in effect.
I wouldn't even...
KO3 at turn 169.
Woo!
Just like... Jesus Christ. I mean, Stu said he had a plan, and that his plan was pee-pee stall, and goddamn if he didn't do it.
He did it effectively. I mean, everything is, like, completely out. Skarmory's out of body presses. Chansey's, like, out of most of its moves at this point in the game. Ditto's basically useless because the Kyurem exists, and just...
Yep.
Takes all its PP in 2 seconds.
Yep. And, like, Liam has some other offensive mons, like, he has Goodra and shit. I don't even think bringing Goodra to this game would have changed anything.
No. No, definitely not.
And, like, I think that could be said for a lot of the games Liam's gonna have in the future.
Yeah, I mean, like, any configuration of his team is just going to lead to a ridiculously long game.
A long game that's going to be drawn out to an inevitable conclusion, unfortunately.
Yeah. The worst part is now this shows people that his team can be dealt with stall, and all that means is people are probably going to bring stall against him consistently.
You can do one of two things, right? You can bring stall, or you can bring super duper insane hyper offense.
Yeah, so either your games with him are going to last all of about 30 seconds because you're going to get going and break through his team within the first 2 minutes of the game starting, or you're going to run into a brick wall and die a slow pain full death.
Well, he's gonna die a slow pain because as long as you do what Stu did and bring Stahl with in addition to offensive pieces, you're gonna come out the winner because you'll be able to break his stall but he can't break yours.
Yeah.
Like Blaziken, like obviously losing Blaziken as early as he did sucked, but like yeah. I don't think Blaziken was doing much in this fight.
No, Blaziken had no room to do anything. It was Alomomola by itself. Alomomola plus Petra completely hard wall it, completely any kind of set that it wants to bring, it just completely shut down. It wasn't breaking through anything that was brought here. It was never going to get going. And this game, honestly, it feels like it never got going. This is one of the longest games I have personally ever seen.
It is the longest game I've ever seen.
And God help everyone who plays Liam through the course of the season. Because
I don't play him, but I watching this game told me everything I needed to know about how to beat him.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Not pretty to say the least. Stu knew what he had to do. He looked at the matchup. He came up with a game plan. It's a gross game plan, but you know what? And it worked, and kudos to him for that, and kudos to both of them for sticking out a 200-plus turn game. That is. I have a question gross.
that may or may not be related to this game.
Shoot.
Allegedly. Is there a rule in this league that you have to bring a team of 6?
I don't think so.
Cool. That just told me everything I need to know about this team.
Beautiful. That's fun. Alright, well, now that that's done, we can move on to some games we can really dig our teeth into. And moving on to the next one, let's go check out. We have Allen and the Lancaster Lycanrocks taking on Rennie and the New York Dialgas. Alex, why don't you break down this matchup real quick? I gotta go close my door.
Right. So, Allen brought Luxray, Darkspun, Terapagos, who does not have the World form allowed. He can only do the usual bullshit. Nothing special. Swampert, Scizor, and Azelf against Rennie's Dragapult, Terraridon, Florges, Iron Treads, Caldeo, and Rotom Heat. Also should note here that Allen's Luxray is able to Terra as well. There's some interesting things about this matchup. It does look kind of even.
Yeah.
But. Big old butt here.
Yeah, I can definitely see, Keldeo applying a lot of pressure. If there's, a Specs Keldeo that's going to punch a hole through most things on this team.
And Pulp. I think the real issue here, just looking at the matchup, there's a real problem with the discrepancy in the speeds.
Yeah.
Allen, the only base 100 thing Allen has here is Azelf, and of them, none of them have reliable recovery of the slow guys.
Yeah. Wish
Protect is the best you got.
Yeah. Not ideal. So,
whereas Rennie has, fast shit and bulky shit.
Yeah, it's a very, very balanced team that Rennie's got there. And Rennie's team is just really good. In general. It's one of the better teams he's drafted.
It's aight.
Turn
1 Psychic. The Psychic instead of the signature move is an odd choice, I think.
I'm very surprised to see that, because he was very excited about utilizing that to begin the season. We were talking about the team.
What does Terra Shell do? Because it just made that resisted, right?
Yes. It's basically...
that's the thing. It can take one of each type as a resisted hit per...
No, it's just super... It's just a super multi-scale, basically.
Oh, and so that thing just died.
Yeah.
Was that Specs damage, you think?
Hard to say, because he was only set up on his Spadef and Secret Sword being fighting
hits physically, but isn't Terapagos bulky?
It's like decently bulky. It's like fair. It's got like fairly balanced stats across the board. So like, and that could be specs damage. That could very well be specs damage. I wouldn't be shocked. Looking at the matchup, I definitely think specs just the correct play in general.
It is. The Willow and Swampert kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's tough.
But that flip turn did a decent chunk of damage.
Yeah, that was really, really strong. Even with the
burn, that just tells me that the Rotom is not especially defensive.
Yeah, either the Rotom's not defensive, or like that might be a Bandit Swampert. I could very well see that being the case. Ooh, okay. That term was pretty solid, honestly.
That Earthquake doing that much, even, like, not super effective is just sad.
Yeah, Luxray do be weak, but man, that...
He's so cool, and but goddamn, he sucks.
Yeah, he tries his best. He just struggles. He struggles.
I've used him once, and I liked him, but that was a generation ago.
Yeah.
Interesting to bring the Rotom. I guess it was just to predict the play rough.
Yeah, he had to protect the Keldeo as much as possible.
I mean, he could have also gone into the treads just because, like...
The overheat was interesting. Oh.
Same with the Willow, so I think Rennie just doesn't know about Darkspawn.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Oh, yeah, he just
doesn't know. Or he's trying to stack Rotom, but it's a little early for that.
He gets the Para, which is probably going to be huge.
I don't know. Like... More than half the things that Rennie has that lives just is faster than Darkspawn anyway.
Yeah, 15% with a flip turn, even when burned. That's... I feel very...
Torgus's physical defense is not good.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, I'm sure it's probably physically defensive.
Maybe that Rotom is interesting, because that Iron Head should have probably done more.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning like maybe it's abandoned. No, it is. No, it's leftovers. No, I've seen the leftovers now. I'm bugging. No, it's just this
is weird.
Swampert's just doing way more damage than I think it should.
It is, and the +2 Scizor didn't do enough.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was insane. I know it's quad resisted, but like,
come on. Oh yeah, it's quad resisted, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot electric resist. Yeah. No, that actually, the math's there then.
Darkspawn tanking the spec Surf, very, very good there, but I think that this is now a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, Swampert getting burned when it does just kind of suck, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I almost feel like this might have been lost at Team Preview.
Yeah, it just looked like it was a tough matchup from the very beginning. This is going to be a hard one for just the teams that they brought to break through.
Yeah. Oh, and he brought mixed. That was really smart.
Very smart to bring the flamethrower for the Scizor. Yeah, that was a good play. Good bring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, solid performance by Rennie. He's got a really solid team this season, so I think it shows really well in his hands. Alan,
not the best week for Alan. First week up in the main league.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he will bounce back. His team's solid. He's definitely got some good pieces. He's just going to take a little bit of growing pains to get used to the new mons and trying to get it.
He might want to look at some free agency just to see.
Yeah, it never hurts. Never hurts to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, a very, very solidly played game. Rennie played that one really well, and he, pushed through for a solid 4-0 win. Not bad. We take those. Onward, we find our game between Cece and the Saratoga Snoms, and Jesse and his J-Dog Jolteons. Jesse is bringing the Glastrier, the Deoxys Defense, Tornadus, Walking Wake, Leafeon, and Heatran against Cece's Iron Crown, the Hisuian Zoroark, the Ribombee, the Talonflame, Serena, and the Knucklestack. So, looking at the matchup right off the bat, 100% chance that Tornadoes has Sunny Day on it. More than
Yeah.
likely. And I feel like CC's looking like she definitely has the tools to deal with a lot of what's going on here. And potentially
Fun fact, I almost drafted Deoxys D.
I wouldn't blame anyone for doing so either, because it's one of those mons. It's
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought Mew would be better.
Mew is better in my opinion, personally. I don't think Deoxys defense is that great. It's so limited in what it can do. It's not that good. In my personal opinion, I think it's mid as hell.
Yeah, its HP stat makes it not as bulky as the rest of its stats would make you believe, lead you to believe it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it definitely hinders it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Looking at this, between like potential webs with Rabombi, Zoroark smacks this team really hard.
This team doesn't really need the webs in the first place, though, just because her team's she basically outspeeds anything that's not in the sun.
Yeah, I could see Nagelstack pissing off a lot of members of this team. I could see Nagelstack just sitting there and completely shutting down Deoxys, catching Heatran, Iron Weight coming in very easily, and just chipping him down.
I mean, then again, it's Jesse, so like don't count him out necessarily.
Oh, never.
Because he will bring dumb bullshit.
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of his crazy stuff before, and it's some solid levels of crazy. So let's see how this one plays out.
Pause right here.
Well,
this is a message for the whole ass league, okay? Okay? Cece, I know you're typing shit in response because you're hearing me say this shit. Don't, because I am not ruining anything. I am pointing out an obvious. If you see a team that has Hisui and Zoroark, you should really assume that the Pokemon that has been led against you is Hisui and Zoroark.
Every single time.
Let's not forget that 2 seasons ago, when CC had it previously, she led Hisui and Zoroark every single game.
Yeah. It's
and that's what I did anytime I brought Zoroark last season.
It's a very easy lead to do because people just tend to forget that it's a thing and they don't think about it, and then stuff like what just happened happens.
Because unfortunately, that Heatran losing Heatran turn 1 was really bad for Jesse because Heatran puts in so much work against this 6 that CC brought.
Yeah, it opens up Talonflame very much. It opens up Talonflame, it opens up Serena, it opens up Iron Crown to just kind of
it opens up Rabombi.
Yeah, everything just kind of gets to click buttons now, and all because Heatran was not prepared to get a Focus Blast dropped on its head. So
yeah.
PSA, if you see a Zoroark, always assume there's a Zoroark across from you, unless you've found a way to confirm it to not be. Period. Just pay attention and play safe, because
I mean, I can on the one hand, I can understand it being turn 1 and not wanting to overpredict too much, but just a turn 1 Zoroark is a very standard play, especially like CC has shown us. She showed us last summer that that is a very much go-to move for her. So again, CC, before you start having a freak out that I'm ruining your season, I'm going to make you lose everything, the skill level of your opponents, they should all just be making assumptions.
Yeah. And also, don't just auto-lead Zoroark every game.
Yeah.
Be creative, come on. We know you're better than that.
I don't know about that, but...
so now, obviously, he knows. He's like, okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, and there's the Sunny Day, of course.
Yeah.
Called that.
Knocking off the Eevee like that soon is huge.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
does Jesse have Terra on Leafeon?
Yes, I believe it's
because like this would have been a great time to go Terra Fire.
Yeah,
or rather, it's just a good game to go Terra Fire.
Yeah,
And hitting all those triple axles on Wake really sucked.
Yeah, that was really painful. That was a really tough one.
Yeah, especially with the Rabambi just cleaning up. Oh, he brought Terra normal. That's bad.
That was a play. That was definitely a play that was made. Yeah, Terrifier definitely was probably better in this matchup, I think.
Yeah, it would have... Might have wanted to set up Trick Room a little sooner, Jesse.
Yeah.
Like, maybe turn 1. That is truly tragic.
But man, Knucklestack didn't do anything, didn't do too much, so that's good.
No, Rabambi instead ate this team's whole ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. With that Zoroark assist, it just kind of said nope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the weakness policy. Oh, that's just a cruel way to finish it off. That's a cruel little irony to finish it off with. Oh.
That might have been the same set she ran last week, but I don't. No, wait, this is week 1. I'm thinking of different tournaments.
But man, what a solidly played game by CC. Losing the Heatran turn 1, absolutely detrimental. Completely just murked Jesse's chances of victory.
Yeah, like if Jesse had been able to keep Heatran around, this might not have been as cut and dry of a game, and it might have actually CC might not have. At minimum, it's a closer game. At worst, for CC, she would have just lost.
Yeah. I could very well have seen this game going to like a 2 or a 1-0.
Yeah, I can tell you in mocks and in preparation, it was not easy for CC, and in fact, I think it was an uphill battle for her, but there was some stuff that Jessie didn't bring that would have been good, and obviously, losing, hindsight's 2020, losing the Heatran was just a huge blow.
Yeah, for sure. It completely killed his chances in this matchup, without a doubt, and that's we could see what happened. It led to a big win for CC, so good way to start.
So Jessie does have a good team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that team's going to be very, very scary because there's so many different modes it can run. So people are. And
luckily for him, Torkoal is now available.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true.
So Jesse, if you want Torkoal, you can pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want it, but it is there if you want it.
You can have actual Sun for your Sun team instead of having to run Sunny Day Tornadoes every week. Not a bad idea. Just a thought. But
yeah.
Good game for CC. Wait, ready to start the season. Moving on, we have our most recent champion rebranding himself back to the Windy City Bullstrikers and Anthony. Taking on...
I like that name better.
I do too. Taking on David and the Denver Dondozos. So go
this
ahead
is such a David fucking team if I've ever seen one.
It very much is, and I hate it.
I did a VGC run last year, and I actually went to one of the in-person events. And little known fact, David actually loves playing VGC. So David, I spent about a month or so learning VGC from David and being coached in VGC by David. Half the Pokemon that he brought this week were on the VGC team that he and I settled on. This is a very David team.
Yeah, and I could probably guess which 3 they are. We have Magneton, we have Tinglu, which was on that team. We have Alolan Ninetales, we have Indeedee, which was probably on that team.
Yes.
And we have Incineroar, which was definitely on that team.
Incineroar was not on that team.
What? It was Hawlucha.
It was Hawlucha. Incineroar might not have been in the game yet. So the team David and I went to, it was a stupid gimmick team for Reg C, but it was effective, at least on the latter in some way. So it was Tinglu, Indeedee female, Armarouge, Hawlucha, Azumarill, and Orthworm.
Beautiful.
Which is also a very David team. Which is a very David team in general because of the Orthworm.
Well, let's see if what Anthony brought can deal with those monsters. We see a Latios, a Tornadus Therian, a Slowbro, T-Tar, Excadrill, and Arboliva. This team is strong as hell.
Yeah. Even Arboliva, like, having Arboliva as a Terramon is actually really good.
It's so good. PokeMMD used it in I believe, the first season of the SPL, I believe, if I remember correctly. And, man, he made Arboliva look like one of the best Pokemon ever made.
Like, getting rid of the normal typing on Arboliva makes it so good.
Oh my god, yeah. And it's so much stronger than it gets credit for. It's really, really solid.
Yeah.
The big thing for Anthony is going to be breaking through Tinglu here. If he can break through
I'm not 100% sure why he brought Latios, considering David does have 2 dark types.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. Kind of intrigued to see how he utilizes it in this game. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But I think if he can break Tinglu,
I don't really think he's going to be able to break Tinglu.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Arboliva could break Tinglu.
Kind of. It's about a 50-50 shot, because Tinglu's just so
stupid
fat.
I don't know. Just looking at it, this looks like a rough matchup for Anthony.
Yeah, it does. It very much does. So let's see how things play out. Tinglu already coming in.
Of course, it's Wendigoon. That's his guy. That's his boy.
Incineroar, oh lord.
That did shit, Jesus. Okay, Electric, that's interesting, considering you need to break Tinglu.
Yeah, I am very concerned by that decision. I'm kind of confused here. Maybe that's probably more for the Halucha, but, like, I would save that until, like, way later in the game.
Well, I mean, I get it, right? Because he didn't want to, Oh, dear lord, why did he bring this thing? I forgot about the terrain.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, you did not need an extra terrain setter for Halucha.
Oh, no, I think he brought it as a means of making sure the terrain doesn't stay up on their side. Trying to keep...
Yeah, but electric and grassy terrain proc the same... Oh, not electric, it's psychic. Of course, yeah, those do proc different items.
Plus, it does kind of help with Tinglu a little bit. Getting the grassy terrain up is kind of nice to weaken the earthquakes coming out.
Yes. So that might have been what Anthony was thinking in terms of being Terra Electric.
Yeah. That's
probably what he was thinking. Magnet Rise is interesting.
Good brain. Very good brain. Very good brain. I like that a lot.
I didn't even know that Arboliva got Earth Power.
Arboliva gets so many things. Arboliva gets so many things it shouldn't get, and I hate it.
That was such a good bring, though, from David, that Magnet Rise.
Very, very good call, yeah, for sure.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that expanding force went crazy.
That's a specs. He's the way he switched out that spec.
100%. That has to be specs. Because, like, that's insane. That is such insane damage.
The throat chop is interesting. Not sure why he would click that, but...
Maybe he was probably predicting, like, the Latios or the...
I guess, but just, maybe the Slowbro?
I could see that. Predicting the ground move, trying to come in with something like that. That makes sense. Arboliva is, like, also, like, scary bulky. For, like, no reason.
Yeah, like, I think its big hindrances are just its speed and the fact that it's normal.
Yeah. But, like, Strength Sap by itself is just, like, a stupid...
It's such a good move.
It's one of the best moves in Pokemon, in my opinion. It's just so...
Yeah, it was one of the reasons why Galarian Corsola was busted.
Yeah. Did he just manually set Snow up? Am I dreaming?
Yes, he did.
What in the hell?
I think I get it. He did it in case T-Tar...
Oh, that's such good prep.
David is one of the best preppers in this league.
That is so good.
Full stop.
The Terra fighting Magneton was really, really solid there, taking out the Excadrill. Oh, man, that was really, really good stuff. That was good.
Yeah, David's going a little crazy.
Whew, man. Good prep all across the board. This game's crazy good so far.
Yeah, I mean, Arboliva's mostly doing all of the heavy lifting for Anthony, but...
Yeah. I mean, David is showing up in this game so far. He is absolutely...
If David plays and preps like this all season, this could be his season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's playing out of his mind. His prep's crazy.
Just don't fucking play high or drunk in playoffs, David.
Please.
Don't throw like that. Don't get swept by Dunsparce again, David. Don't get 6-0'd by Dunsparce. For fuck's sake, play like this and prep like this.
Finally broke the Arboliva. And
I think that kind of just means it's over for Anthony.
The Rocky helmet plus the Scald burn. Ooh. That's tough for that. That's tough for the Ting.
Yeah, but I don't even think it matters anymore. Right, like...
Yeah. It's definitely tough. It's definitely tough.
I mean, I don't know why I guess he's trying to... Oh, I guess he's setting up all the hazards just to sack and to kill off T-Tar as soon as it gets in.
Yep. 2 spikes is all he needed, and T-Tar's dead. And that's... Yep, there he goes.
There goes T-Tar. And then this thing just eats Latios' ass.
Oh, and then he just gets to set up the Veil for free. That's tough.
And then the freeze dry is just in... Like, this doesn't even matter. I mean, no, the T-Wave is good for Latios.
Yeah.
But, like, Latios is going to have a real trouble trying to 1v1 this team, even if it takes out the, Luster Purge is a nice bring.
Yeah.
That was the only reason he no, wait. That's special defense, not attack.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
The Veil's too strong. Veil too strong. Yeah. Man, what a game. What a game. David played that out of his mind. He prepped perfectly.
David prepped it out of his mind, and Anthony just showed us why Arboliva is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a believer now.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm a believer in Arboliva, for sure.
Yeah. That was definitely his... That's so far been the MVP of the week.
Yeah, it just kind of like... It basically like 1v6, like, David's team for like the entire time it was alive. It just kind of stayed around and remained completely annoying and held off everything that David wanted to do, which was really, really solid. But the moment that thing fell, it was the main domino that set things in motion. Absolutely just toppled the rest of the team over. And, like, David applied constant pressure the entire game. I feel like Anthony was on the back foot for a large percentage of it. Arboliva applied a good amount of pressure back, but anytime Arboliva got pressured back out of the game, it was immediately back in David's court at that point.
Yeah.
So, insanely well played, insanely well prepped, David. Really, really well done on that game. Anthony, you just won the title. You'll bounce back. I'm not concerned that this is going to be like a bad season for you. I'm sure you'll bounce back effectively. But
I mean, that said, somebody has to go to D-League.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Wouldn't it be hilarious if a former champion went to D-League again?
Well, he didn't go to D-League. Last time he went to D-League, he wasn't a former champion, so...
Well, it would be a shame if he did this time. I don't know, Anthony. You better step it up, bud.
Nah, he's not my pick of the week in terms of games to go back to D-League to get sent down based on how they performed this week.
Yeah, that would be me, right? Jokes, obviously.
No!
Probably. Moving on, we have... I believe this is Anders, and...
This is Anders and Brittany.
Scythers, and Brittany with the Moonlit Umbreons. Why don't you
Actually, she's the Baldwin Excaliburs now.
The Baldwin Excaliburs, you're correct. Why don't you break this one down for us? What do we got going on here?
So, Anders has brought Latias, Ursaluna Blood Moon, which, even though we didn't really cover last season, Blood Moon was a late-season trade that Anders picked up previously that worked out really well for him, so he just decided to re-up on it.
Smart.
Skeledirge, Vikavolt, Terra Vikavolt, I believe. I believe it can... Yeah, I can Terra. In fact, might have even been his first round pick because he wanted to make sure he got good Terra captains in.
Yeah. It was a snipe for me, too, because I definitely wanted Vikavolt. I was going to pick him really early.
And Palmot. Side note, Anders, you got 2 electric types. If you want to trade me Palmot for Kilowattrell, I know I said that wrong, but goddammit, that's his name to me. Like, I'm intentionally saying it wrong. Trade me Palmot.
Please.
Please trade me Palmot, Anders. I need a good fight. I need a fast fighting type.
And it's a good mon. Palmot's a good mon.
Yeah. Brittany has brought Annihilate, Yuxi, Hydrapple, Clodsire, Enamorous Therian, Shitmon, and Blastoise.
I mean, obviously, I am biased in this matchup. I am incredibly biased. I know what team I'm rooting for because of reasons.
I know you're rooting for the Annihilate
of course.
team. My concern for Brittany is outside of Annihilate and I guess Hydrapple, and Enamorous, but I'm on Hydrapple and Enamorous. I feel like Brittany loses this at team preview.
I mean, Blood Moon.
Maybe it's a bold prediction, but like
Blood Moon by itself, like people.
Blood Moon like washes this team. First of all,
it's so good. It's so stupid how good.
And like Yuxi, I love Yuxi. I think it's a great Pokemon. Yuxi can't do shit.
It's too passive.
Yeah, but like whatever. It can't break Anders. It's not gonna be enough to stand up to Anders. Hydrapple is strong especially if you get a good RNG on a Fickle Beam. He's slow as shit.
Yeah.
Clodsire is super duper passive and really only good if you're expecting to go against setup.
Yeah.
Enamorous, I hate that Pokemon so much. Enamorous Therian it's got one good set and that's it.
I agree. I do agree. It's bulky as hell.
Blastoise
doesn't do much.
is great. Blastoise is great utility, great Shell Smasher, but like,
not good against this team.
Not against this team, and like Annihilate is actually great against this team. The problem is Annihilate cannot outbulk Anders' threats.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that it can outbulk, it is slower than.
Yeah,
which is in this case it's like Latios and Palmot.
The only way that I see Annihilate doing anything crazy here is if she plays it out of her mind and like gets it in just a quick pivot in on like a U-turn or a Volt Switch or something here and there, and like just racks up the Rage Fists.
Yeah,
and then is able to like rest it up or something later and proceed to like Rage Fist pound the majority of this team. And then, like, obviously you have, like...
But even then, Latios is right there.
Like, I mean, it's true. It's true. But, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Let's see how this one turns out. It's definitely
uphill. Like, I'm a bit... like, her speed tier... The speed tier she's brought are just not great.
Yeah.
I mean, Anders just proving my point right now. He's just immediately going into a Calm Mind.
Yeah, and there's no reason not to.
I mean, yes, an Amber switching in is the correct play.
Yeah.
But those Moonblasts are not... I guess that was just a low roll initially, because I was going to say those Moonblasts are not doing enough where he can't just shrug it off with a recover.
Yeah, the classic low into high roll situation.
Yeah. The Willow on the Clodsire is good, because that thing usually likes to be physical.
And we
see it with the Stone Edge. And then he just switches back right out into Vikavolt, who...
Big damage, but Citrus, nice Citrus.
Citrus is a very interesting pick. I forgot that Vikavolt also had Sticky Web.
Yeah.
Which compounds everything I was saying about Brittany's team into Anders.
Yeah. I will say Sticky Webs with the Annihilate on the opposing side is an interesting thought process.
Yes, it is. It is.
Like, giving that free
it might just be that Anders is just trying to outspeed any potential Scarfers and he's really trying to commit to the Latios sweep.
Yeah. He might just not even be remotely scared of Annihilate either. Like, he's got
he's got Ursaluna, who's immune to Rage Fist.
Yeah.
So, like, I can understand why he wouldn't be.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that at all. I mean, the Dragon type getting to 1v1 the Fairy, gotta love that.
Yeah.
Trick Room.
Oh, that was a very smart bring. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Trick Room is ass unless you're playing doubles.
It's definitely tough to do in singles.
Because you waste a turn setting it up with your Trick Rooms, with your Room Setter, and then you likely lose a turn trying to get in whatever you're trying to get in.
Yeah. and she spent a lot of her Trick Room terms just getting up the screens, which is cool.
The screens.
It's not ideal. Does force the Latias out though, which is good.
Yeah.
But now Palmot just kind of, okay.
The Palmot pivot was interesting. But I guess he was predicting her to switch into Hydrapple.
Stone Axe is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Stone Axe is such a good move when it hits. That's a risky recover. Yeah.
I'm not sure why he didn't just Dragon Pulse.
Yeah, that was a very risky recover.
Yeah. Anders, you could have just Torch Songed and been at +2. What are you doing, bud? You could have just Torch Songed, been at +2. Brittany. I mean, I guess she was predicting, right? But, like...
Yeah, she probably predicted the...
But, like, we've seen already... She already showed us that Blastoise was at least partially physical.
Yeah. And
so Anders had nothing to worry about by clicking Willow.
Yeah, especially if it's a really bulky Skeledirge, which that thing just kind of sits in front of most things and doesn't die. Like, it should have very easily been able to get that burn off there without any issues, so that was a pretty, like, low-risk play on his part.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at this point, Ursaluna kind of just cleans.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that was a 37-turn game.
That just kind of flew by. But also, no Defiant on the Annihilate. Very, very interesting call. Trying to
does he have, like, any Intimidators or something? Because doesn't Inner Focus prevent Intimidate?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Let me double.
I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to run Vital Spirit. Like, it just seems like you always run Defiant because moves can lower your stats. And in Anders' case, he had webs. The taunt just seems...
I don't see any Gramble is an Intimidator, but, like, that's not really the biggest thing. So, like...
And also, Intimidate would have also set off Defiant.
Yeah.
So I just see no reason why this, And also, Brittany revealed that she had Taunt. You click Taunt the moment Skeledirge comes in on Annihilate, so that, especially when it's already revealed that it has Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, definitely a few misplays here. Definitely, I think, a few errors in prep, I think, on this one. I think could have been done better.
I mean, it's week 1, so it might be a little early for me to say, but I foresee, that if prep and play continues to be like that, Brittany really might want to look at the free agents that are there and make some transactions, because...
Definitely might want to switch some things around.
I pointed out at Team Preview a lot of things that I considered a glaring issue in this matchup. And I don't think the things that I pointed out are going to necessarily be unique to this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for the most part, she brought a lot of passive shit except for Annihilate.
Yeah, Annihilate was built to, like, beat him down, but, like, yeah, very passive Clodsire, very passive Enamorous, kind of, like, seemingly a very passive Physical Blastoise, and then, like, the super passive Uxie with only attack being U-turn. Kind of, like, I see the thought process. I can definitely see what the plan was. I just don't think it was the right matchup. I don't think it was
correct. I just don't think that's something you can hitch your wagon on, especially against an opponent that has this, like, Anders had a plan A, a B, and a C, clearly.
Yeah, for sure. He had his options. He could Calm Mind sweep with Latias. He could Torch Song sweep with Skeledirge.
He could just do Ursaluna nonsense.
He could beat them down with Ursaluna behind webs. Like, he had everything pretty much was, like, set up so that one of his game plans could work at some point.
Yeah.
So I think overall, learning. Hopefully, this is the learning experience she'll bounce back and get, and.
And again, don't be afraid to look at free agency and see if there are ways that you can improve your team.
Absolutely. Free agency is...
There's a lot of good stuff that went undrafted.
Yep, and we just, we just had a whole bunch go back into the pool. We'll address that in a little bit. But definitely doesn't hurt to go back to the well and take a few peeks. So with that, we're going to move on to my game. So I'm going to let you break this one down. Myself and the Rachis and Lamps taking on Devin and the Shelly Vrooms.
Alright. Devin brought Landorus Therian, Avalugg, Screamtail, Raging Bolt, Rotom Wash, and Duraludon, where you bought Archaludon, Toxicroak, interesting, Alcremie, Donphan, Hoopa, Regice. Can I say something that's going to sound mean?
Go for it.
You really brought the D squad besides Archaludon.
I mean, it was just the most logical brings at the end of the day, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess, but just, I don't know, I mean, I like Reggie's, but, Regice, I feel like, is maybe the worst one.
I mean, for sure. It absolutely is, by far.
Toxicroak, Toxicroak's a cool guy, especially in, lower tier drafts, but I feel like he's kind of mid, especially in this matchup.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Arcanine wasn't going to be able to break the team. He had enough things to kind of, deal with Suicune as well. Suicune wasn't making any dents. Meowscarada was, a 50-50 shot, but, between the Sun Core and, Raging Bolt, I wasn't really going to be able to get going too crazy, because, my typing changes at all. And I'm going to get wrecked by half of his team. So that was going to be a tough bring. Zapdos, again, kind of didn't really have too many routes. And Lando kind of deals with it. Rotom kind of deals with it. And with the sun going up, too, potentially. It's not like I was going to be able to click Hurricane to kind of beat down some of the things, on that side of the fence. So it was kind of I was kind of forced into a lot of the brings I had this week, so it was just... Okay. It was a tough matchup. It was a tough matchup on paper.
I mean, honestly, I would think this team was fine. I guess it's the combination of both the Hoopa Confined and the Toxicroak.
Toxicroak was actually one that I was really excited to bring. That was
I like Toxicroak a lot. I just think Hoopa Confined is really bad.
He's so strong. He's such a strong boy. Big strong boy.
Yeah, no, Toxicroak's cool. Hoopa, not so much.
I love my Hoopa.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he does for you, because I don't think I watched this game. I don't remember.
You were there for a bit, I think, but I don't know if you stayed the whole way.
No, I definitely stayed till the end. I just don't remember the game.
Which is fair. Getting burned early on definitely wasn't ideal, but I knew it was coming, and I didn't really want anything else getting that passive chip either. It was kind of like a...
I mean, this is something that could afford it. Unless you're... Because, just looking at the team, you were definitely not planning on clicking a lot of body presses.
Yeah.
So, you can afford to be burned on arc.
Yeah, fun fact, body press was not even on my moveset.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the team for it, between Landorus and Screamtail and Avalugg.
I will say my set was a little bit unconventional, to say the least.
Yeah, that's good.
But the strategy behind it made sense. Because I was I had dual stab, but I also had electro shot. Yes, without rain, but there were a bunch of scenarios where I could see clicking the electro shot, getting the special attack buff, plus being assault vested, and just bulky as hell. I could get those special attack buffs, which I probably should have done a bunch against the Screamtail early on, but didn't. I hesitated too much, which understandable. Lando was still around, so couldn't take the risk there, but I also had Solar Beam just in case of the Sun Core being present, so I could fire off boosted, free Solar Beams into Rotom Wash to kind of break through it a little easier. So it was an interesting set. Fortunately, two of my moves weren't able to, didn't get to do anything in this one, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
That is what it is. stamina's cool. I forgot that it gets stamina.
Stamina's so good on this thing. It's just between AV, it's having the better stats and just like and stamina. This thing is so hard to break through.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he has the mixed Lando, which was a really, really good bring on his part. I was really impressed with that. I thought it was a really, really solid put together set.
Mm-hmm.
The paras. This is one of the things that's like that kind of.
Oh shit! You got an ancient power boost.
Yeah, didn't really matter much, but yeah, it was there. Also missed the Thunder Wave on the Duraludon, which would have been like real nice to land.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. You know, I hacked his Scream Tail down, which is, you know, solid. You know, it's only fair that he got to do the same to my Regice, but goddamn, that was rough.
It would have been cool to see Regice sweep.
Yeah, at least do something. Like, I feel like if I had landed the Thunder Wave, I could have done a little bit of something to the Duraludon at least. At least chip it down or get it within range to where I wouldn't have had to take so much extra damage for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's still anyone's game. It's still 3-3.
This right here.
Oh,
that
was big damage.
Yeah, this series of events was devastating. Was beyond devastating.
Oh yeah.
Because if I hadn't gotten fully paralyzed on that first discharge, I would have been able to Calm Mind up in this thing's face and probably would have won the game. Looking at the rest of his sets, he could not break my Alcremie once it got going. All I needed was 2 Calm Minds and I won. Straight up. He didn't have anything to break.
Even Lando?
Yeah,
I do like that you brought special Toxicroak.
Yeah, special Toxicroak was so good in this matchup. So
yeah. Good. Yeah, it's a fun bring. The Earth Power was really neat, though, from Devin.
Mm-hmm. No,
Earth Power did kind of go hard against you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, definitely, obviously, like, if I didn't get parried with Alcremie, I think I won this game, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have anything on his Lando that could break through it, especially with some Calm Minds up. Like, he had Rock Slide, was his best move to hit me with, and I was very physically defensive. So, like, he wouldn't be able to break me, and I'd just be able to Draining Kiss my way back up.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty effectively. You know, once I get the Calm Minds up, Raging Bolt's not breaking me, and with how bulky I was, unless he had Heavy Slam on his Avalugg, which I don't think that he did, I pretty much just straight up, like, won from there.
That's interesting. But that's tragic.
It is what it is. You know, it's the game we play. You know, he got the para. We both got plenty of hacks against each other in that one. It was not the cleanest game. I kind of wish it had been a little bit cleaner to see how things would have gone that way, but it is what it is. You know, hopefully, I'll get a chance to face him in playoffs. Maybe the seeding works out appropriately. We'll see how that goes. We'll go from there. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a rematch because I would love one. No, that's not an invitation to square up any other time. Absolutely not. That's not an invitation. No. We will play playoffs if we meet there. That's it. No, Devin. I know you're thinking about it. Don't even think. Don't do it. No. Don't even ask. It's not happening.
No, what he's just gonna do is he's gonna rig the seating so that he guaranteed can face you.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he absolutely would do that. He absolutely would do that.
God.
But good game to Devin. Good game to Devin. I mean, it was a good play, well played game on both sides. I think we threw the best we had, and it just a little bit of hacks tipped the scales one way or another, and just tipped the scales enough in his direction. Yeah, that's what it is.
Indeed.
But yeah, good game. Best of luck, Devin, for the rest of the season. I hope you don't fall downstairs onto a pile of Legos. Last but not least, let's go ahead and check out your game against Gav and his Armenian Armor Rouges returning this season. Hallelujah. Welcome back, Gav. Gav's team is terrifying. he's got the Chen Pao, he's got the Corviknight, the Ursaluna, Rotom Frost, Armor Rouge. He's got the mascot pick. We love a good mascot pick. And the Dusclops, that's really his mascot, let's be real.
Yeah,
he's going to change his name to the Dusclops for sure. And you brought the Raging, why am I saying? I'm so stuck on the Raging Bolt that beat me down. You get the Roaring Moon, the Alex Staple the Sylveon, the Manaphy, the Registeel, the Entei, and...
Gurfy.
We got Gurfy. Oh lord, it's got Gurfy. I mean, you obviously win because Gurfy's on your team. I think that goes without saying. It's just the most powerful Pokemon ever made. If it can carry Frank to winning a series, it can carry anyone to winning anything.
Unfortunately, this Gurfy does not have Speed Boost.
Very unfortunate because Speed Boost Gurfy is perfect. But looking at the matchup, I mean... It seems like you really do have a lot of like the best defensive things to deal with a lot of his offense.
Yeah.
The Ursaluna is looking kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Kind
like,
of spooky.
At first, I wasn't scared of Ursaluna, but the more and more I looked in prep, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
How do I deal with this?
Burned Ursaluna, looking at the 6 you brought, like, I feel like there's a lot of scenarios where if it's on the field, it can just click one of 2 moves and probably claim a life if it wanted to.
Unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot that I could bring.
Yeah.
That could deal with Ursaluna. I will say I'm very surprised, and I was and still am, that he did not bring the Milotic.
Yeah.
Milotic was really good into my team, and not just because I did not bring a Grass or Electric type. Even though I didn't, I looked at them both. I wanted to bring his Sumi Decidueye. I learned very quickly he sucks shit.
He's not great, is he? No, he's not.
No, he's very susceptible to being Scald Burned, which is not good. His special attack stat is not great.
Yeah, he's not ideal.
I looked into bringing Kilowattrel for similar reasons, but that thing also can't switch into Milotic because of Ice Beam.
Yeah, Kilowattrel is... He does his best. He does his best,
but not against Gav's team.
No. I think you definitely, looking at the matchup, I think you definitely brought the best 6 you could have, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see any other scenario where anything else could have shown up here.
Yeah. There's some very specific plans here for some things. Others are just here for the sake of being here. Gurfy.
Of course.
Gurfy is basically... Well, no, Gurfy actually was a really great switch into Milotic. Milotic really couldn't do anything to it. A fun fact, in the original draft of this team, I did bring Lock-On Zap Cannon just for Milotic, despite the Ursaluna that's right there.
That is absolutely beautiful, and I love that so much.
As you could tell, I was really hurting on ways to beat Milotic.
Yeah, just a little
bit.
And
it just didn't come. I was ready for the rest of this team, except for Rotom, and I saw Rotom, and I was like, okay, I got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if you indeed did have a shot at winning here. We see the Moon lead off against the Rotom.
Just U-turn.
Nice
Gurfy.
U-turn out. Gurfy.
You see Armor Rouge, who... I mean, that was the worst case scenario, obviously.
Absolutely terrifying.
But Entei comes in to do his job and...
crunch damage.
Click crunch.
Yikes.
At this point...
My.
Entei did just... At that point, Entei, though, did kind of do his job.
Yeah.
Of making sure that Moon could take out Armor Rouge. I would have liked to have kept it around for Corviknight, though.
Were you choice?
Pause. I didn't know Ursaluna got Supercell Slam.
I also didn't know that, and that's terrifying. Holy hell.
Gav made an insane prediction to guess that I was about to switch in Manaphy. Although, fun fact, did you know that a Guts boosted Facade from Ursaluna, it just OHKO's Manaphy?
That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. I remember when we were running calcs for this thing, when we were first discussing its existence in draft. I remember we were running calcs, and, like, this thing just... I think this thing... Obviously, we weren't going to allow it to Terra, but, like, I remember, like, Terra normal Ursaluna to a KO'd physically defensive Corviknight, and I was like, this Mon is stupid. This Mon is a crime against society. What the hell? And knowing that information, I'm not particularly surprised. But man, if that Supercell Slam had hit, holy hell.
Yeah. So I didn't know that got that. We're gonna let's keep that miss in the back of our minds. For later. But even if that hit, I think Manaphy still lived, and Manaphy would have still killed it.
Yeah.
Because Manaphy was built to be able to OHKO Ursaluna. It needed the 1v1 Luna. I don't know why I didn't just, like... Oh, no, I just didn't want to stay in on whatever the fuck. That was right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is only turn 11. This is such a hyper offense compared to the games we've watched, besides CC's.
Oh, yeah. The Blizzard Mist.
The Blizzard Mist was awful. Forget.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it really mattered much. Like, he wasn't going to get the freeze, but, like, even still, like, that...
Yeah.
It's just,
it's
an extra shot in the foot. Like, of course, that would miss too on top of everything else so far.
Yeah. We're about to see a very pivotal moment.
Oh, Lord.
I did not think he was gonna... I was convinced he was banded.
The balls
Or
on
life
him.
orb.
Oh, Lord.
Pause here.
Woo! Yeah. That miss.
If Ursaluna had not missed Supercell Slam, I'm pretty sure I just lose here.
Oh, 100%. 1,000%.
Well, it depends on if he had Ice Shard, and I'm not saying he didn't, I'm just saying it's Gav, so anything's possible.
Actually, looking at the set, I mean, he probably doesn't have the Shard, because, like...
Because he has Sacred Sword, Crunch, Swords Dance, and
probably
maybe...
Spinner. Probably Spinner. I think he more than likely has Ice Spinner.
So, like, Ursaluna could have...
Moon probably
like,
beat over
maybe. Gab, I forgot to ask you if you had Ice Shard, because, that would have been the deciding factor. I mean, Alluring Voice was just on Manaphy for Chen Pao.
Yeah.
And the only reason Manaphy lived that crunch is because, this Manaphy was...
bulky.
Very bulky, actually had maybe only half its special attack investment and was Specs.
Nice, yeah.
Because I needed to make sure that I could switch into a burned Facade from Ursaluna and not die.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. That's a good
And then just, like, be able to stay in, click Surf, and if I didn't kill Ursaluna, the burn sure would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, either way, I think even if he had Shard, I don't think Chen Pao straight up won. I think it would be close, but I don't think it's straight up won.
Well,
like,
no.
If it has Shard, it beats Moon, but I don't think it beats Sylveon.
If it had Shard and not Spinner, it wouldn't have beat Sylveon, and that was something I didn't consider.
Yeah. But at that point, too, then, like, the Corviknight...
Because Sylveon was built to be able to take on Chen Pao, obviously.
Yeah. But at that point, like, no matter what, like, if he has Spinner, Sylveon dies, but then Moon beats it over it. If he has Shard, he's able to beat Moon, but then Sylveon beats over it. Then it's just a matter of...
Okay, so the Supercell Slam miss wasn't as bad as I was initially thinking.
But it definitely made the game a little less close.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I still needed Sylveon here, which was why I went Manaphy instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a safe bet. It's a safe bet for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I also just knew Manaphy would live because of the Ursaluna bulk. I was like, well, it lives the hit from Ursaluna, it's gonna live a hit from Chen Pao.
Yeah.
And there goes Gurfy's only contribution.
Way to go, Gurfy. Iron Defense Mew, we love the Mew. Getting crit immediately, we don't love that.
Will-O-Wisp, felt pretty good because to me, I'm thinking, okay, he does not have haze, right?
Of course. Yeah, right.
And then he nightshaded again. I'm like, shit, I should have just calm minded. Why didn't I calm mind? So I do it since he clicked nightshade because I'm like, oh, well, he knows haze because he would have clicked haze instead of nightshade if he had it.
Gav.
I was really ready for Mew to just sweep his ass.
Genuinely, I think he has the same Dusclops set copy-pasted into like a notepad on his desktop. And anytime he wants to use it, he just copies it over. Like, guaranteed.
I mean, it's probably the same way I do Sylveon, where it's the same EV spread, and the 3 moves, and the 4th move is plug and play.
Yeah. Because, like, I'm pretty sure we could probably, if we could rewind time and view every single match he's ever played with Dusclops, I think we would definitely see Willow, we would definitely see Nightshade, and we would definitely see Haze in all of them, at the very minimum. And I wouldn't be surprised if that last move is Pain Split.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we can see that Corviknight does not have Iron Head. Well, fortunately for me, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, that's rough.
Because there's no reason for him to not be clicking it on Sylveon at this point.
Yeah, he loses nothing, because it's not like the best switching you would normally have for an Iron Head being Manaphy, like, it's so low at this point, like...
Yeah.
He loses 0.
And Moon just let Dusclops die. Let Moon click Crunch. Come on. Swapped out, fearing an obvious body press, but he just went for the ruse, predicting a switch.
And there's
the body press. Yep. So now we know he doesn't have Iron Head, which means Sylveon can just sit in front of the rest of this team and do whatever the fuck it wants to do.
Yeah, Sylveon just kind of, like, guaranteed just kind of wins here. There's no way to stop it.
Yep. Although he gets the Blizzard, which
that Blizzard
cool.
Did do a decent chunk for all things considered.
So he might have been Specs.
With how much damage that did, I wouldn't be totally shocked because like Sylveon is such a tank. Like it would not surprise me in the slightest.
There goes Dusclops, which kind of just means Sylveon gets to win the game.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well,
at that point.
It could have won the game. I decided to do something different.
No, of course.
I decided I wanted to have fun.
Oh, boy.
So this game... Well, also, like, the Hyper Voices we saw weren't doing shit.
Yeah. Yep, of course.
And, like...
We were going to be sitting here for
the body press... Like, body press meant Moon was going to be an issue. Like, Moon couldn't stay in on it. Same with the U-turn. So, I kind of just had to do the dumb Mew stuff just to ensure that I won. Fair. And, I mean, this is boring. It's just Mew setting up so that it can just start clicking buttons, but... at this point, I was like, if I fuck this up, I can actually still lose.
Yeah. Crits in just the wrong places would...
Yeah, crits in the wrong places, I actually would still lose the game.
Yeah, but, man, yeah, and I agree with what you said right at the end there. If Corv had Iron Head, he probably would have won that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. A crazy matchup. What a crazy match.
It's interesting, right? Because if Corv had Iron Head, I still actually think that Mew would be able to change it. I think Mew still would have been able to win.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, my last move was Draining Kiss, to no surprise from anybody. And I had the leftovers. And eventually, like, we saw Mew, like, in front of Corviknight, Mew's priority was to set up Iron Defense.
Yeah.
But again, a poorly timed crit, like, I do think Gav probably would have won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think Gav probably would have won, actually, if he had Iron Head.
It was a crazy close game all the way through, and, like, those couple of misses definitely, like...
Yeah.
If those misses didn't take place, we would potentially be seeing a 1-0 in one direction or the other, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, the Supercell Slam, I'd convinced myself that without it, I lost, but the way you pointed it out, either Sylveon or Moon would be able to 1v1 Chen Pao.
Yeah. It's tough no matter what.
True. But it would have been, like, I would have been hopeful that it would be Moon just because it's very clear I needed Sylveon in order to win this game in the end.
Yeah, 100%. If Sylveon went down at any point in time for one reason or another, like
I did just kind of lose.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
But I mean, this is why I always draft Sylveon. Like, I understand that the kid's been power crept since Gen 6, but like, there's no fairy. There's only 2 fairies that do what I want a fairy to do besides Sylveon. That's Florges, and I don't like Florges really. I have my issues with it. And Alcremie, and I've always considered Alcremie in an emergency situation. The only other fairy I will willingly draft, especially if Sylveon gets taken, is Togekiss, and Togekiss isn't in the fucking game. So
the Deep Depression.
Yeah, but like I just want a pure. I'd like to have a pure fairy that can just switch in on dark hits and fighting hits and dragon hits and eat them. Deal back serious damage and pass fat wishes, and in the days before Gen 9, click Heal Bell.
Yep. Sylveon does it perfectly.
Yeah, Sylveon is everything I want in a fairy type, so I have no reason to not draft it every single time. Especially as the generations progress and it just drops in tier. Conversely, though, we're going to end up hitting a point where I have to take it first round.
Oh, yeah, well, without a doubt.
If I hadn't been first seed, if I hadn't been third pick this season, I probably would have done that. Yeah. No, it still would have been second. I mean, I didn't even fucking pick it this season. I made some backdoor arrangements, for CC to pick it, and I would pick up her tier 3, because I wanted to guarantee Manaphy and my Psychic type. I originally wanted Slowking Galar. Liam took that first round. So, and I knew that Mew and Deoxys would make it back to me. And I was very I knew that Mew and Manaphy were very integral to my team plans for this season.
And I mean, they both put on a good show in this one. Good solid game for week 1, solid win. Came out here, pulled out a good one, and hopefully that's a good sign for the rest of the season. And Gav,
fingers crossed.
Never have to worry about Gav, because Gav is
no.
Gav.
I mean, Gav and I always me playing Gav is also always a coin flip. He and I have each other's numbers when it comes to this fucking game. He and I are always trading back wins and losses with one another. So I honestly went into this game being like, I'm just probably gonna fucking lose, and it's fine. I'll just get my first loss out of the way. That's not what happened.
Turned out to be the opposite. We take those.
But it was very close.
Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, that's going to conclude all of our matches for week 1. We did have one match that ended up not being played. Ken, the former coach of the Whoop That Tricks, was unable to do his match this week and actually has had to drop from the league. He dealt with a lot of family issues or something, and a lot of IRL stuff.
Family issues, and then just a lot of stuff that wasn't family issues is going to be keeping him too busy.
Yeah, IRL just kind of hit him like a brick wall, and it is what it is. Obviously, IRL stuff has to come first. Obviously, we wish him the best. His team will be being taken over by a returning coach.
For the first time in almost 4 years.
Mac, the former coach of the Carolina Persians, I believe, was his old team.
Yes,
now he goes by the Tennessee Tapus.
Yep.
Which I'm very excited to have Mac back.
Mac is cooking already this season.
Yeah. Mac's a hell of a coach, and I'm really excited to have him back in the league. I'm very, very excited for it. So I cannot wait to see what kind of
Mac, I have missed you so much.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But with that, let's go ahead and take a look at next week's matchups and see what we have in store for week number 2. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, over on our fantastic document showing our week 2 matchups. Starting with Jason and the Adelaide Arbolivas taking on Gavino and his Armenian Armor Rouges. Jason was able to get himself a pretty much free bye week to start the season off, get a free week 1 win to start things off. Not the way you want to start things, but I'm sure he's chomping at the bit, excited to get going on the season and actually get to play some games. Gav coming off a loss, gonna try to bounce back. Will he be able to do so against Jason? We'll just have to see.
Maybe.
Next up, we have myself and the Rage Fist Annihilators taking on Anders and the Ayrshire Scythers. Fighting Blood Moon is never fun. I don't like it. I do not recommend it for anyone. It is a bad time. It's a scary Pokemon to prep for. So that's going to be a lot of fun for me. Yay, me. So excited, so pumped. Really love everything. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. I hate my life. I don't have an easy schedule this season, and that's okay. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love a nice little difficult schedule. Keeps me.
I don't.
Keeps me on my toes.
I hate it.
Then we have Brittany and the Baldwin Baxcaliburs taking on Anthony and the Windy City Bold Strikers.
Anthony's gonna sass the shit out of her.
Of course, I mean that's what Anthony does best.
They're both coming off those losses, but I don't know how hungry she is. I know Anthony's hungry.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Anthony wants to pull off the back-to-back with 2 different team names. I mean that would be first time ever, and that would be kind of wild. So I think it'd be very interesting to see if he could pull it off. Definitely, the loss is probably going to light a fire under his ass for sure.
Yeah.
Will Brittany's loss light a fire under her? We'll just have to find out.
She better hope so.
She's going to have to bring it to take down Anthony for sure. Then we have poor David. Poor David. David and his crazy good prep versus Liam and his team of pain and misery and
if there's anyone that's gonna do it, it's David.
Yeah, David has the skills to prep and find ways to break through this team. It's just gonna be incredibly difficult, and I'm sure this is still gonna be a very long match because, let's be real, looking at Liam's team, I can't see a single game that doesn't go at the very minimum above 50 turns.
Yeah,
50 is probably the bottom of the list of match lengths we're going to see from him this season for sure. But best of luck to David. It's definitely a tough sell for sure. But I think he's got the skills to pull it off if he really pushes hard on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have you taking on our head of D League, Alan, and the Lancaster Lycanrocs. Should be a fun matchup. Yeah,
Terapagos is annoying as shit to prep for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely is. That is one hell of a mon to deal with. It is quite the beast for sure. And
his Terra stuff is a little annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I'm a big Terapagos stan. I think it's a really, really fun mon. I think it's really, really cool with what it does. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of fun, cool stuff you come up with to get around it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try.
Next up, we have Jesse and the J-Dog Jolteons taking on... This will be fixed soon. We just got to get our doc guy on this. Our doc guy will have to show us how to fix it. This is supposed to be the Tennessee Tapus, coached by Mac on his return. He's got a brand new team. He's got a whole lot of cool stuff going on, and it's exciting to have him back, so it'll be really cool to see him take on Jesse here. Jesse, drawing the short straw, taking on Mac on his first week back. Gonna be a really tough match for sure. I'm interested to see how this one goes.
Yeah, I mean... They both bring crackhead sets, so it's a game I'm very much looking forward to.
Oh my god, yeah. This is going to be one of the most fun games for sure. We now have Rennie and the New York Dialgas taking on Cece and the Saratoga Snoms. And poor Cece.
Yeah, I mean, she's already resigned herself to losing, so...
That's
great for me. It's a little less prep I have to do.
It's a tough matchup for sure. On paper it's going to be a tough matchup, and Rennie, obviously, he's just one of the most experienced and seasoned coaches in the league. He's got the most championships of any in the league, and he definitely didn't get those by being a slouch.
Well, we got them from gimmicks. 2 of them are from gimmicks.
I mean, even still, you got to have some skill to get there. And he pilots his teams well. Even he regularly gets ranked with one of the lowest teams in the league, and he tends to always make playoffs some way or another.
I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with that.
So I don't know. I think he's a top tier guy. I'm looking forward to seeing.
No, he is. I just don't agree with the low ranked team. But
I mean, hey, you've ranked his teams fairly low with me before.
Only sometimes. All right, who's next?
Final game for this week is going to be Stewart and the New Zealand Nibbles taking on Devin and the Shelley Vrooms, both coming off of big wins in the first week. Well, a big win for Stu, a smaller win for Devin. Devin's going to have to really pull out all the stops. We saw how good Stewart can be.
Yeah.
When he systematically broke Liam's stall team down bit by bit. So it's definitely going to be a tough matchup for Devin going into this one. Absolutely. Obviously, I prefer if you didn't win, because that just makes, if I win, gives me a better chance to bump you down in the rankings in our division. So that's a personal investment here, but it's you showed a lot of really good, solid prep against me in week 1 that really caught me off guard for sure. So I'm expecting to see a lot of fun stuff like that coming into these future weeks. So we'll see how this one turns out. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our week 1 recap. In the future, we are going to go over stuff like kill leaders and such, as well as what playoffs are kind of looking like. More so in the future, once the season's kind of gotten rolling, we start to see more of a clearer picture develop. Obviously, it's just week 1. Some people have good weeks, some people have bad weeks to start the season. Some people are still getting used to their teams. Giving it a couple weeks allows us to really see how these teams shape up and form into what they're going to be going forward for the rest of the season. So really excited to see what comes from all that, but it's going to be a really, really fun season, and I'm really looking forward to it. So with that, my name is Jeff. I'm joined by Alex. And we are heading out of here. Peace.
Yep.